Hello, everyone. My name is Deanne Weimer. I live at 6606 Fiona Place. I've been a resident of Carlsbad since 2000, and I am here speaking on behalf of Citizens for North County. Good evening to everyone on the council. Good evening to everyone here today in the audience. The first thing I would like to say tonight is thank you. Thank you to this community, to the almost 40,000 residents who mailed in their ballots or ventured to the polls on election day to vote. It is inspiring to know that we live in a city where people care deeply about their responsibilities as citizens, so deeply that 2/3 of the voters will turn out for a special election in February. And to our 300 volunteers, from 9-year-olds to 90-year-olds, who walked our streets knocking on doors, who placed thousands of calls to their neighbors, who spent hours on social media, who made pop-up events a new space for residents to discuss local issues with fellow citizens. For the people who developed expertise on traffic and land use and translated a 1 million word proposal into digestible bits and video, thank you. And there are the heroes amongst us who risked so much to take a public position on this issue, no matter what side that issue was. So now we are here on the first week of spring to talk about restoration and renewal, how we restore our confidence in our elected leaders, how we are reborn as a united community. On behalf of Citizens for North County, which was privileged to take on the role of loyal opposition, we believe there are 3 direct steps to be taken as quickly as possible. The first 2 address the land that was included in this 203-acre proposal rejected by Carlsbad voters. The third addresses accountability and prevention. First, we ask the City Council to direct the city staff to review the plans for Hub Park in relation to the recommendations of the post-Prop D Citizens Committee and forge a plan to be presented to the public that would fast-track creation of the trails and the parkland. Second, the immediate withdrawal of all elements of the general plan that were inspired by or designed to facilitate implementation of the Agua Hedionda specific plan on the 48 acres not included as part of Prop D. This would include pulling these changes already before the Coastal Commission for its review. The electorate has rejected the changes that permit increases in density and expansion of uses associated with or tangential to the disposition of the 48 acres. These changes to the general plan were proposed when the public had no clear idea as to their intent and when only certain elected officials and select city staff were in the know about the AHSP. Third, we need to repair what was lost during the 4-year romance with this developer, who unfortunately learned during that time that this council would look the other way as citizens were bullied, even in these chambers in August, and misled. We need to know how this relationship evolved. Avoiding a violation of the Brown Act is not the same as governing in the light. The Brown Act by itself is not a guarantee of transparency. Because of this conduct, our City Hall and city staff are no longer a trusted source for impartial information. It isn't enough to say that the developer used our images on campaign materials without our permission. It isn't right to spend $100,000 putting out a voter's guide that doesn't include the opposing viewpoint. And the sight on the Grammys and the NFL playoffs of our elected officials sitting in their offices as part of a TV ad in support of a developer's project may be an example of how far some were willing to go to cloak in respectability a developer who exhibited nothing but disrespect for this city, its rules, procedures, and its citizens themselves. But it isn't the image of Carlsbad we want the world to know. We call on the council to appoint a citizens committee with representatives on both sides of this issue to restore transparency and to address the failure of the city's system of checks and balances in managing this developer's proposals. We want a city where staff or consultants can render their professional opinions without being placed in the position of choosing between their professional integrity and their employment, or in the case of consultants, their continued ability to seek work from this city, where businesses and their owners do not fear retribution from City Hall, where appointed officials do not engage in personal attacks while failing to identify their role in our city's government. The collusion, special access, and intimidation that are characteristic of a company town mentality are the opposite of what Carlsbad represents. Carlsbad is where discourse can occur respectfully and factually, where access and information are available to each and every citizen, where we own our behavior for good or bad, where accountability is the first step towards resolution, where everyone's goal is to save Carlsbad. Thank you.
Thank you, Deanne. And we're going to take a 10-minute break.